Greetings, tax tip lovers, and welcome to this week's top 5 property tax blunders in just 5 minutes. This week's tale's inspired by Jimmy, who's a high end estate agent. Jimmy told me he'd made his fair share of mistakes. Well, for maximum attention, nothing beats a good mistake. Some mistakes are too much fun to make just once, and some have been repeating mistakes for so long they've become traditions. Jimmy told me about two of his mistakes. His accountant has just retired, and he's coming to terms with a serious negative value for money exercise. And he's just had to fire his best agent, who, it turns out, recommended to a client viewing the wrong sort of semi. Jimmy knew there's a massive inheritance tax bill on the £5 million property portfolio he created by his hard work during his lifetime. He wanted to plan, but kept hearing the mantras, it's risky to plan and it's not what HMRC wants you to do. Well, doing nothing sure provides certainty. £2 million in death duties in Jimmy's case. Oh, and the conversation with his kids, which starts one day, 60% of all this will be yours. We chatted about some of the get investigated quick schemes he'd found on the internet and some frankly outrageous planning ideas. Take Norman Tebbit. Remember Norman? He's a former Conservative Party chairman who famously told Big Issue magazine that legislation proposed by then Prime Minister David Cameron would allow him to marry his son to avoid inheritance tax. Okay, here we go. The little help from the boss, Bruce Springsteen, from May 1984, as we count down the 5 biggest blunders. Static at this week's number 5. There's something happening somewhere. I just know that there is. None of us know when St. Peter's going to call our name. So none of us know how to live properly. So we don't sort inheritance tax and we don't give away assets that we don't need anymore. In the real world of property owners, the biggest risk to you and your family is the risk of doing nothing. Down at this week's number 4, you can't start a fire. Not a week passes without somebody or even several somebodies telling me I've got an accountant and almost as regularly they do my tax. Then we take a look, and often it's only true to the extent that filing was done on time. Just inside this week's top 3, you can't start a fire without a spark. I'm just going to put this out there. In my experience, property businesses typically have the DNA of winners and just need a tax specialist to deliver the right performance and outcomes. Don't let the DNA of your accountant permeate your business. Plan B cannot be work harder at plan A. And in my view, ready, fire, aim lacks something as a strategy. A new entry at this week's number 2, this gun's for hire. To experience the transformative power of legitimate tax advice, you need a specialist. Cholorophobia helps identify those with painted faces, but warning tax tippers, anyone can call themselves an accountant, and plenty do. Staying at number 1 is the all-time classic, even if we're just dancing in the dark. Just because you've worked with your advisor since Elvis was a boy doesn't mean you can't do better. So starve your distractions, feed your focus, and review your advice team once a year, every year. Believing that nobody has a monopoly on good ideas, we share tax optimization principles that work for clients across the UK. And we publish on our website all the ingredients. And then when the time's right for you, we hope we've done enough so that you come to us for the recipe. Remember, walking on water is tough, but it's not impossible. Just be sure to do it in winter. Okay, that's it. It's time to take action to sort your property tax planning, and here's how. You can do nothing and stay in the exact same place and pay a shed load of tax unnecessarily, or You can follow the link above for a free Power Hour review with property tax experts who are ex PwC and ex HMRC and will make your property tax planning like it was our own. And that's our take on the 5 planning blunders we see most often. So, volume up, time to let the boss tell it better than I ever could. All right, stay bright. Catch you again for breakfast next week. Ta